Hi, Yvonne.
Hi,
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I know this is a little bit different than the last time that we met. How have you been doing in quarantine?
I've been doing all right. I feel like it made me super lazy and just I it's hard to keep a schedule. That's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of people are struggling with productivity. So it's definitely not you. It's normal. This is different and kind of unprecedented for all of us. Something new that we're all working through. And you mentioned that you were felt like you were having trouble keeping a schedule. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so I'm currently in grad school. So I we went online and that pretty much was really hard because it was a really big transition, especially with my program. And so all the assignments went online, and now it's a matter of trying to get them done in a timely manner. And I guess that's kind of hard just because I was already a bit of a procrastinator, and now I feel like it's pretty bad.
Okay, so you've been online for a few weeks now.
Mhm.
So it's been a few weeks, and you're having trouble because you were kind of already a procrastinator before. So now it feels like a little bit more, even, with that pressure on yourself with being in quarantine now. How, now that it has been a few weeks, have you felt different or more productive than like when you first kind of went online to now, or you think it's about the same?
Um, I feel like it's really different just because just I s- I guess I just struggle with finding that motivation to get the assignment started and finished. Like oftentimes I'll start the assignment and then I'll just easily get distracted and I'll be like, you know what, like later. And then I like, later turns into the next day and then the next day and the next day, and it's like a little stressful, I guess, just on my end because I want to get it done, but like this whole like quarantine just is a different type of lax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely normal for us to get distracted now because we have a lot of different surroundings than, we did before. And so I do hear, you do want to work on those assignments and you even are starting them. You're just kind of having trouble um, keeping up with them or staying on task with it. Is that right?
Yeah, that's
So, what did, prior to your classes going online, I know you did mention that you were still a little bit of a procrastinator, but you were still getting your assignments and everything done. So looking back, what did that look like for you as far as staying on track with your school schedule?
well, I had my internship where when I had some downtime, I was able to work on my stuff. And I also had a lot of energy because I worked out a lot. And I feel like now, well, like back then, like that gave me energy. And like after my workout, I would do my whatever I had to get done that night, as far as like my chapter reading or a small reflection. But now, like, it's even that's really hard, like finding like motivation to work out. And so that adds to the to me being very sluggish.
Okay, so before it sounds like one of the big things that kind of kept you going with schoolwork unintentionally is working out. That kind of gave you a little bit, not necessarily motivation, but it gave you that energy, like you said.
Hmm.
Um, what have you done any kind of exercise at all while you're in quarantine, or just how has that routine changed?
It changed because I would go to a boot camp and I would do my workouts there with my trainers, and it drastically changed because now I'm the only thing I do is go jogging, and that's kind of how I think, like, that's my workout for the day. And that's like, I feel like that doesn't really add the pump that I used to get, because with my trainer, like, they make me lift weights, or I have to do a lot of like body exercises. And then like here, like, it's just me, and I hate doing that. So without my trainer, like, I don't do it.
Okay. And that's, everyone's routine has really changed, in the past month or so. So that is, definitely normal as well. So since your exercise routine is looking a little bit different now and you're not really getting that motivation, that energy, to then work on your schoolwork after, is there something else that you think could kind of start getting you back on track or making you feel a little bit more motivated to working on your assignments?
I don't know. I feel like caffeine gets me motivated. That kind of gets me going. So
Okay.
that's something.
So, okay, so I'm hearing, you're definitely kind of getting used to your new surroundings, those distractions, a little bit, of procrastination. On a scale from 1 to 10, one being not motivated at all and 10 being extremely motivated, where would you rate yourself as far as your motivation to complete your assignments?
I would say a 4.
Okay. And why do you feel that you're at a 4 and not a 6 or a 7?
Mm, because regardless of how I feel, I still get it done. And
Okay.
I think if I were to have rated myself lower, it it would be me like not completing my assignments. But regardless, actually, like, I don't know, maybe I'm not a 4. Maybe I'm like more than that, because regardless, like, I always get it done, even if
Okay.
it's like being submitted at midnight. Like I find that, like, that overdrive, and I like get it done. And so maybe I'm not a 4. Maybe I'm a 6-ish.
Okay. So you still are, you're still having a little bit of a lack of motivation, but, you're still, like you said, even if you're submitting at midnight, you're still getting it done. So, and that's a positive that even if you are, waiting to the last minute to submit your assignments, you are still getting them done. So that's definitely a positive. You haven't had missed any assignments or anything like that.
Yeah, I haven't. Actually, I did miss one, but that was when we were barely like transitioning over. So
You're
I
just kind of
feel like
getting
that was
used
on
to
my
it.
end. It was just me adjusting for sure. But
Yeah. Okay. So how, looking at, okay, how things are now, what do things look like if you were on task, procrastinating less? How do you think that you could achieve that?
I think I'd be able to achieve that if I were just to give myself a schedule and stick with it. Like maybe just plan out my day. But um yeah, like I think that would be ideal. Just planning it out, just sticking to it regardless. And
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that would be really good, really helpful. Have you ever done that in the past, kind of like scheduling out your day?
No, what I used to do was give myself to-do lists,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess is kind of similar.
Yeah, it is that, kind of your to-do list for the day. And sometimes I think it, in planning out your day, instead of thinking you have, these 5 assignments or all this reading, you can look at it ahead and, kind of break it down, instead of, kind of breaking it down into chunks instead of looking at it as one big thing that you kind of aren't really sure how to do, attack it all at once. So I think planning out your schedule would be really good and really helpful. Um, what would planning that out look like for you? Do you have, the help or the resources, that you would need to do that?
Um, yeah, I have everything I need to get it done. Well, what do you mean?
Just, how can we put it actually into action instead of, so now you've made um a good step forward in saying, okay, our we want to kind of, decrease your procrastination. So in order to do that, you're thinking it would be good for you to kind of like schedule out your days. And so just kind of making sure like what exactly is that plan so that we can make sure that it's executed.
I guess just finding a way to hold me accountable. Because I feel like the problem isn't like creating this plan; it's just me holding me accountable. But something about me is I love like well, I'm human, so like I love rewards. So maybe like giving myself a reward for accomplishing my to-do list.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, I mean, if you feel, that that's something that works for you, um, I think that that would work out as well. And maybe so that's gonna motivate you in a way. There's this kind of like a thing, that you'll be able to reward yourself, like you said, at the end of that task. And then you also mentioned, you know, being held accountable. Is there someone or um, maybe a classmate or any kind of person or any kind of way, something you can do to also keep yourself accountable in addition to rewarding yourself and kind of creating that motivation? Is there, how would accountability look like to you?
I guess maybe telling my close group of classmates um, to maybe push me and tell me like, hey, did you complete this? Kind of them being that extra plan B accountability.
Mm-hmm.
That way I kind of have somebody to report to.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would be, that's going to be helpful. So having your accountability, we'll call them an accountability partner, your classmates, and having that reward kind of system in place and scheduling your day out, I definitely think that this will help you moving forward and completing your assignments.